Speaking of comedy that you don't want to watch, welcome to Generation Dan, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode coming at you live here from your generational series of hosts. I'm your Zoomer, Kayla McDuff, and I'm joined by my marvelous old friends.
I'm Atlas Novak. I'm your millennial, and if you ever find this podcast somewhere in the desert wasteland, I'm so sorry.
If anything, we're going to give you some tips today. I'm Tina the Genetic Marvel, and I'm your Gen Xer.
And our guest today, she's a good friend of mine. Give it up for Alia Meth, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Sorry my fingers are being taken by the light and also my camera, but I'm Alia. It's wonderful to be here. And, you know, this shit is going to get a little bit serious, but hopefully a little bit more fun, too.
This is one of those things where the guy listening to it at the gym is just like, what fingers? Fuck you, I'm listening. Like,
to be fair, I also was told, like, in advance, like, some of the questions they would ask me, so,
yeah.
And what the topic was. So, like, unfortunately, I spoiled a little bit for you, viewers.
All right, well, why don't we just kick off that first question then while we're here?
All right, there you go.
What is an embarrassing song from your playlist?
So I think the more embarrassing thing is I don't have a playlist.
Okay.
Yeah, mostly because I
anarchist or something.
I mean, a little bit. I just sing most of the time. Like, I hear a song, like, either on the radio or I, just, like, there's a musical I loved, and then just, like, in my autistic brain, I just comes into my head and I just start singing. And then sometimes my cat will come over and just be like, I am your audience, mommy. Let me watch you and not pay, which is what everybody else would do if they walked nearby you outside of your apartment. Don't you know? I mean, current situation financially, I'm fine with.
That's fantastic.
See, that's one of those things where, like, I'll start singing randomly too, but it's like after I've heard a song and then want to hear it again, so I put it on a playlist.
That's totally fair. Like, you know where I can't speak. Oil Can Harry's is?
Yeah.
Okay. So, for those that don't know, Oil Can Harry's is in Sherman Oaks, in Studio City, near Universal Studios. Mm-hmm. And specifically the park and, you know, the entire place where they film everything. Mm-hmm. And one night I went with some friends and I sang karaoke. And sitting next to me was somebody who worked for, like, Universal, like, Records. And then after I sang a Beatles song, The Long and Winding Road, she like turned over to me and she said, you have a phenomenal voice.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So, like, this is somebody who actually, like, works with musicians and, you know, and records them. And she's like, yeah, no, you have a phenomenal voice. And my friends were like, you should, you know, ask her, like, what you should do in order to get into that business. And I was like, should I? Like, I didn't know if that was a good idea after the person who works in the music industry, one of the biggest music industry companies, was like, you have a really good voice.
Well, Miss Alia Smith, or Alia Meth Smith, what the fuck? Why did I say Smith? Miss Alia Smith, I'm working on an EP, so I'm gonna need some vocals. I'm gonna need you to drop some vocals on a track, get you a feature.
Okay. I mean, shit, I'll do it. If you're really doing it, I'll do it.
As long as you can sing about being really sad and, you know, stuff like that. That's kind of the genre. That's the niche that we're going for.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's the most Gen Z thing he could have said.
Yeah. I want to make sure the sadness comes through to the point where you can't turn away. I think that's what Caleb's going for.
The vibes are that you're sitting in your dark room at 3 a.m. and you've already eaten half a loaf of Italian bread. That's basically the vibe.
Is it stale or fresh Italian?
Oh, it's definitely stale. It's definitely stale and moldy. Yeah. It's definitely stale and moldy.
100%.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, you want me to do it right now, or do you want me to do it later?
I mean, now and later. I mean, what? I mean, welcome to the Voice Generation Dan edition, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna preemptively turn my chair around. Oh my god, I'm knocking things over. I'm so excited.
Caleb's turned into a new version of Dr. Claw. You can only see from behind. It's fantastic.
Where's the cat?
He would do the little eyebrow waggle. The chair turns on you.
That makes sense.
And then whoever's singing the song is just like, I don't want him.
Is there anybody
I'm
else?
good. I will take the L on this
already.
competition, just not with him.
Oh,
Oh my god!
I just
All right.
wanted to see the white fluffy cat that like in your arms, you know.
I wish I got it.
Right.
it's that's
I've
it.
been
Close enough,
expecting
yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's close enough.
It's 2022. That seems reasonable. It's equivalent for
Yeah.
a new age Dr. Claw. I
Yeah.
see. I have sung. There was one show up in Toronto that would always have karaoke afterward,
Yeah.
and I would always go and sing, and I would do it because I sound. So I actually just recently had quit smoking, so my voice is slowly getting less raspy. But
Yay!
I would. It's horrible. Anyways, so I would start singing, and people who I knew would just turn and they're like, "How can you sing that well?" And I'm like, "I look like this on the outside, but have a lot of weird talents on the inside." So, but hey, if they told you that you were good, yeah, why not?
Yeah. No, that's like every like Midwestern kid's dream when they move to LA. Maybe a record executive will see me sing somewhere and be like, "Kid, you got the stuff."
Right?
Oh my god, you're so right. And I was just kind of like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And then I just didn't. I just let them walk by. And this was very similar to the same time I went to see a movie. It was Obvious Child over at the NoHo Lemley, and I noticed that there was McLovin off to the side, and from this I noticed Dave Franco from his ass. I saw his ass before I saw his face, and I was like,
That's
"Oh,
Dave Franco.
that's Dave Franco." And
I hope I become so ubiquitous one day that people can recognize me by my butt. Because, like, I have kind of a rockin' badonkadonk. That would be like if there was an ass executive. Exactly. If there was an ass executive, they would be like, "Kid, you got the stuff."
I think you already got one, not necessarily your posterior, but maybe your giant head is already something.
Well,
you're
okay. A lot of movie stars have fucking huge heads. I've noticed.
not-
I
a
know-
lot of them.
Yeah.
I know a certain Del Taco employee that'll recognize you from your butt.
Oh yeah, that's true. No, they didn't see my butt. They saw the pain in my face.
The shame, the shame.
The shame and anger. They could have just let me inside to use the bathroom. But no.
Sorry, yeah, these are stories we've gone
These are
over that were
callbacks, yeah.
embarrassing.
Oh.
Where
I mean,
Atlas,
I kind of expected that it's like a shit story, unfortunately,
Literally,
like
yes.
a literal shit story.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it involves a Del
basically,
Taco, a locked door, and Atlas's intense eye contact while
Yeah,
everything was
so-
happening.
Had to use the bathroom. Del Taco was locked. I was just yelling, "Let me in!" Like, and then the employee and I made eye contact as I shat my pants, and then I just like, "You did this to me!" Like, just fucking intense anger.
I am so sorry to both your pants, your underwear, and that Del Taco employee.
Yeah, no. Well, because to them it looked like I was yelling at her like she was a scab who crossed the picket line. That was like righteous. You Pinkerton son of a bitch!
You're the reason why r/anti-work exists, Atlas.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is your fault.
Oh,
I do love anti-work. That's a
yeah.
good subreddit.
Come on.
All right. Our next question is: what's something you do because you're a grown-up and no parent or adult can tell you that you can't?
Yes.
Okay, so when I'm working, sorry, when I'm not working, I love to game, right?
Okay.
So, like every trans woman, I play, like I'm playing right now, Pokemon Legends Arceus,
Mhm.
and it is so fun. Just catching Pokemon over and over and over again. It's basically like a first-person shooter if the first-person shooter was a Pokeball.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't really recognize that's exactly what it is. So I've been like playing this for like days on end when I don't have work.
Mhm.
And I have caught probably about 24 shiny Pokemon in just this game alone.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. which is great. I've got like I think 2 sets of dupes, but one of them has a form change. I know for all the Gen Xers and above, this is like, oh my god, I hate this game. My kids talk about it, and I don't care.
Finally, we get to talk about young people's shit on this show. Oh my god!
It's not only that I don't care. I feel like it's not a transferable skill. That's my problem. I'm like, hey, how can you apply this to real life? There's no Pokemon to catch, but there are people to shoot. Just gonna throw that out there.
I'm just gonna say, like, when you used to chase a hoop with a stick down a dirt road, that wasn't an applicable skill either.
No, I paid poor people to do that in front of me and watched and laughed, going, "Look at them! They're playing with a circle." No,
I can't even tell what he's talking about.
It's okay.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
Dino's putting on his Monopoly Man outfit.
Also true. I do have a tuxedo and and a monocle.
This is why I transitioned, so I didn't have to wear a tuxedo or a monocle. I mean, I could wear the monocle if I want, but it's generally something that is frowned upon in the sexy night out trans woman scene. Generally frowned upon.
Sexy has sailed on this space. Okay, it's gone.
Okay, that's fair.
My modeling career is from the elbow down. That's it. I got sexy
elbow
forearms,
down.
sexy forearms, but that's about it. And giant hands.
If you shave that might actually be like something that's really attractive to lesbians. So I would
100%. They're very soft, but look very strong. It works. It works.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's basically. Wait. Dino, you're basically like George on Seinfeld, and he becomes a hand model because, it's George.
I like to think I'm more David Duchovny in Zoolander, where he's got the thing on his hand.
Yeah.
He's like, they're very protected, very important. The problem is my hands are gigantic. They don't have stuff.
But why male models?
You kidding? I just explained it all. No, that's fair.
Oh my god! All right. That third question. What? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just gonna say I was a extra on Starsky and Hutch years ago during the bat mitzvah sequence. So, that was a whole gender ago. So if you do look for me, much shorter hair.
It was a whole gender ago
and less boobs.
A whole gender ago and less boobs. That's a
fair description.
The modern Lincoln speech
might be the episode title.
One gender and 2 boobs ago.
I don't think we're allowed to use that. Like, she's allowed to use that. I don't think we would be. We might, get in trouble by somebody.
If it was just
you're just quoting me, so that's fine.
Well, no, because like the episode of Chris Oliver where I call it "It's a Dry Cold." Like that's somebody said it's a dry cold, not somebody is a dry cold.
I don't feel that people get angry about the cold the same way they would get angry on what your potential title would be.
I mean, you're not using the T word, so you're fine. Like, the T word is the slur. Yeah. If you're saying a gender ago and less boobs, you're fine.
That's literally what, just in quotes, a gender ago and less boobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. Or not. We'll see.
Listen, nobody's going to come.
Or not.
Alias, I'm 6'2" and 400 pounds. I'm gigantic. And I'm like, no, I don't care if anyone gets mad. I'm worried about you two. He's in LA and he's small. I'm like, they just get eaten up real quick.
That's true. I just love the idea. I'll take Dino at his word, but I've never met him in person. So there might be a time where if I go up to Toronto or he comes down to LA, where it's just going to be like,
it's like, wait, he's 4'8"?
Yeah.
I'm a circle. I'm just a circle, and just hey, what's up?
He just on the walls of Toronto's streets. He's just going around in the circle, just moving. He's 2-dimensional, and he's just it's Kirby just circling.
Yeah, makes sense. I can pull it. Yeah, that's fair.
The genetic 2-dimensional man. I like it.
We can rebuild him.
Imagine.
We have the technology, but I don't want to spend a lot of money.
We're just going to use
draw.
We're just going to use pencils.
And I have no idea how to draw the z-axis yet, so that's what we're stuck with. All right. Third question. What was the first time that you felt like a grown-up?
Okay. So, the first time I really felt like a grown up was when I left this mental health facility I was 5150'd in.
Mhm.
I didn't have anyone from my family that I was talking to at the time that lived in LA to come pick me up.
Yeah.
I also didn't have anyone I could trust to come pick me up because my car was not with me. It was at the LGBT center in Hollywood. The medical clinic over there.
Mhm.
It was parked right by it, and it'd been there for 5 days.
Yeah.
And thankfully I had money in my account.
Mhm.
But I was given only, bus tokens
Mm.
to get back to my car. And
Okay.
this mental health facility was in like the Eagle Rock, uh, Pasadena, Glendale, like that
Yeah.
area. So for those that don't know, that's a long ride without, if you're taking the bus. That's
Yeah.
a couple-hour ride.
Couple hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Express, no express, just like on a regular street.
no express. And I've
Express, a couple
never.
hours. Sweet Jesus.
Oh no, no, not an express. Just
Okay, no.
I don't know
Still.
for an express bus if it would have been, but I didn't want to like chance it, and
Yeah.
I didn't know who to trust. I've heard that like public transit. Unfortunately, like being alone, there are some trans women who've gotten beaten up. It doesn't
Yeah.
always happen. I've been on the train and I haven't been beaten up yet, thankfully. So what I did was I pulled out my phone and called a Lyft and took it all the way there. And then when I got to my car and I was leaving that parking like area, this man comes out and he goes, your car's been parked here for 5 days. Like, you're only supposed to park here for like a certain time. I was like, I was 5150. I had no idea when I went in that my car would be here for 5 days. And he eventually, we're having this same exact conversation over and over again. And he goes, all right, fine, you can just go. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I had to do that all on my own. And I was like, you know what? After being 5150, and for those that don't know what that is if somebody suspects that you are going to kill yourself, you're going to be put in a mental health facility for 3 days. So after being 5150'd and getting out, I went home all by myself, and I would say that's a pretty adult thing to do. And I would say that's probably one of the most adult things you can see yourself as, and being like, I did this all on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the realest answer we've gotten on the show.
I know.
That
right?
is,
Yeah,
you know what,
that's,
though? Yeah, that's pretty solid, though. Like, realistically, that's a hard wake-up kind of, hey,
That's pretty
this is
nice.
on your shoulders, right? And you're kind of going, damn it, you know?
Yeah.
The way you've retold it, assuming that is how it is, which is, in my mind, it is, you did a great job. Good on you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's like.
That's my generation. We go, hey, great job.
Well, thanks. As a millennial, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's one of those questions.
You
where
got
usually-
chops, kids.
Where like John D. Ruddy's episode, it was like he was in charge of a bunch of kids, and it's like fuck. And then in
That
your
was-
case, it was just like fucking like I just had to get my car back and get out of there, and there was no one's gonna save you. You just knuckled up and did what you had to do.
There's a difference is that you made a choice too on each situation. You could have chose
Poorly.
one way or another, right? No,
Yeah.
you could have chose aggression. You could have chose communication. You chose communication each time as best you could for your safety. I think that's a win anywhere you go, right? Like, the fact is being able to just stand there going, okay, you know what? I'm worried about my safety, but I need to get these things done. How am I going to go about doing it? Granted, it was lucky that you were able to afford it to be able to do that stuff, right? But then when a guy's like, hey, you were parked here for 5 days. I'm sorry. I didn't expect that. This is what happened. Now I'm ready to go. And you know what? the frustrating part about dealing with a lot of people that are in this age category is where they just keep on repeating themselves louder and louder because they think you don't understand.
Yeah.
So what you do is you just repeat it right back to them going, yes, I understand. Thank you. That's fine. I want to leave now. And then eventually they go, well, okay. And then you're going, okay, done. So, it's weird how you deal with anyone's aggression or hostility. And it like, there's no, I'm gigantic, right? So people aren't aggressive to me because I look like I'll rip your arm off and beat you to death with it, right? It's not, which I have used to my advantage through my entire life. It's nonstop, right? But it's tough. It's a weird situation to be in, right? So handling it proper gets a good job, kid. Keep up the good work.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, so the day I was 5150'd, I had 2 commercial auditions that I couldn't make because of it. No joke.
Oh,
Yeah. That was really sad. And I had to call the person that had gotten me those auditions. That I was like, hey, I'm in a mental hospital. Like, that was not a great conversation because I knew pretty much after I was going to be dropped.
Yeah.
And I pretty much was. She didn't say it right there because that's how agents are. But yeah. So that
they're always like, can I talk to you for 1 second? No, it's fine. You're not in trouble. It's just that get them into the office. You're fucking fired. Get out.
I wish that was on the phone call from the mental health facility that I was at. Yeah. So I wished they could just bring me in so that I could feel the pain from that. And I mean, don't worry, Dino. Honestly, like when it comes to looks, for most women, I am and my voice, I am extremely unattractive to like all the people I come across. So like, don't even. I mean, I can't. If I can do a good enough Lenny Bruce impression, and I am not picking up the kind of people that are generally looking for women. Like that's generally not going to happen for me. So you're fine.
Listen, the fact that I've been married to more than once is still amazing to me, and I'm like, it's confusing. I don't get it.
I would honestly give you applause if I didn't have to tip my microphone like this. Like I would.
Oh man.
Well, Alia's excellent survival skills post 5150. The quote topic is our apocalypse plans because at the time of recording this, a couple days ago, Russia invaded Ukraine, and the president, who is basically like their Jon Stewart, like he was a comedian, instead of like hiding in a bunker somewhere or getting spirited out of the country, he's just like, fucking give me a rifle, I'm going to fight with everybody.
He's smoking darts and shooting Russians. That's what he's doing, okay? Guy's a badass.
And there's other cool stuff, like I saw a tweet about somebody was driving to Kyiv, and over the radio, the host was giving instructions on how to make Molotov cocktails. There were instructions in the city of Kyiv to remove all the street signs to confuse the Russian people, and instead of removing them, they replaced them with signs that basically say "Go fuck yourself" in every direction. It's amazing.
That's how you take the war to the Russians. That's how you do it. Okay, you don't just wait for them. No. It's gonna be a maze to even get here, brother. That's how it works.
By the way, those Molotov cocktails they're making, they're also they're telling them to make them with styrofoam because basically when they do that, it acts like napalm, and so it will stick to these tanks and it will actually like have a better explosion impact. So like,
so you put like bits of styrofoam in the booze, and then that's how.
Yeah, so, you put styrofoam in the bottle, and it will.
If you were to do that, that would be your own thing. We're not providing recipes.
Yes, please do not make Molotov cocktails.
We're just explaining how the Ukrainian government is explaining how to do that for their people. We're just relaying information that they're talking about. We're not telling you to do this at all.
Oh, by the way, there was also a piece of instruction: throw it sidearm, because otherwise you're going to let your hair on fire. That's one of those things.
My hair. If I threw it like that, my hair would be gone.
Yeah,
and probably me.
It's even my Homer Simpson lines would just disappear. It's like, oh man, they'd get all curly. I'd be like, oh, now I have curly hair. It's the worst.
Hey, anybody smell hair burning?
Oh,
Oh my
I've
god!
got curly hair.
So yeah, that's the situation. By the time you're hearing this, it's like a month later, so it'll probably just be like,
if we survive
worse.
the oncoming nuclear explosions, we're going to give you some advice. Maybe prepare a little bit.
Speaking
Or-
of nuclear explosions, basically Russia they're continually reiterating, oh, we'll just, you'll experience, things that you've never experienced before if you enter this war. And then I think it was today or yesterday, Macron, obviously the president of France, was like, yeah, we have nukes too. Just like, it's like, hey, asshole, the reason why we're like not fighting you is because we don't want a nuclear war, but we also have them. So if you're going to act like a moron, remember that.
This is the thing, though, too, is that Russia's nukes are all like super old, and half of them probably don't work. So you're going like, there's a good chance you guys are going to launch it, and it's just going to blow up where it is. That's on your property. That's a bad idea. Like this is the problem with war in general, right? Is that you have people who are not paying the price making decisions, while the people who didn't make the decisions are having to pay the price.
Yeah,
That's kind of a jerk thing to
politics in general and stuff. But like, that kind of stuff was happening during the Cuban Missile Crisis too, where Khrushchev was bragging about like how accurate the nukes were, and it turns out not really. And they took hours to launch, and that's why he stationed missiles in Cuba, was they were short range so they could fire faster.
Because it was a slingshot that they were using, not rockets.
Yeah, exactly. So it's basically like it's always, a thin veneer of bravado over just like a giant slobbering pile of douche.
Yeah,
There's a lot to unpack in that statement. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is also the reason why, because, like, Ukraine doesn't have any, which is why, obviously, they're getting invaded beyond just, like, the fact that they're a democracy.
They gave them up in the 90s, right? That was
part of the agreement for, like, when the USSR fell, that they would return them to Russia, or what would eventually become Russia.
Yeah.
Like, Russia's been training with ICBMs, which are essentially what they put in Cuba. And so it's all reports in a war zone. It's hard to confirm everything. So take it with a grain of salt. But people were saying, I think yesterday, I'm literally watching this shit every day. Like I'm paying attention. I'm posting about it. I'm telling the tankies and the Nosballs to fuck off. Okay. I just said it. So it's like, people that are defending like invasion, imperialism, they can go F themselves. So I don't know why I just did that. But there's
You're
potentially
very
like I am angry. I'm angry enough to say F off, which is
how dare you?
No, I'm gonna say it.
That's like that's the Mormon version.
I don't care that you broke your elbow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, get your 2022 bingo cards out. Whoever had nuclear winter on B4, get your waters ready.
That's going to be one of those things where, like, if that's when, like, nuclear winter versus, like, global climate change, like, that's a line in Futurama. If that's what ends up being this, I'm going to be, God fucking damn it.
Oh, right? Funny story.
Matt Groening is a time traveler and can tell the future. That's what's happening. Sorry.
Continue. Yeah, it has to be.
No, it's okay. There's literally, because of climate change, it fucked over the Russians as they were trying to, like, enter into one of the cities. It basically slowed down their advance. Without climate change, the ice wouldn't have melted, or like the frost wouldn't have melted, so that the mud that would have it wouldn't have gotten so muddy. So like the tanks and all of the things that got stuck in there were stuck because of climate change. The one good thing about climate change has been helping the Ukrainians.
Well, that
in
was
this
one of the things that
invasion.
slowed the Germans down during Operation Barbarossa was like summer rains. So basically, they're getting that now in winter because they're like,
Yeah.
Russian winter, we win in Russian winter. And then it's not winter anymore in February because climate change.
That was actually a good Russian, and I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed still because
My
you've
last
done-
name is Russian. Like, come on.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's in the helix somewhere. It's
The crazy part is this: is that it's being from Canada. I'll tell you is that to prepare for snow versus to prepare for mud and water, those are three very distinct type of preparedness that do not transfer through. Right, so it's definitely why there's been issue because like the Germans could prepare for mud and water, and they're like, yeah, no problem, ice, dam. And this, right? Whereas Russians are like, oh, there's water. Shucks, we only prepared for ice. It's the same. It's like a Settlers of Catan weird thing with the thingies. You have to. Everything has to be in the right place, or else you can't win. No, but this is the entire issue with all of it, right? Is that you have all these people who are like, we're gonna go to war, and you're like, holy crap, we've maxed out on this world is going crazy. I'm signing up with Musk. Get me to Mars, brother. Let's get out of here.
No, fuck him. I hate him.
No, you don't. He is your god. Just obey him, and maybe we'll come out of this okay.
He's an idiot. He's really dumb.
They're all idiots. Everybody's an idiot. You know why? Human.
I did see a movie that basically like sucked off his dick during the entire time of the run.
Wait, was it? Don't Look Up or
no? It was Moonfall.
No. Oh, I never
it was
saw
Moonfall. It's bad. It's really bad. And it's partially funded by Tencent, which, if you don't know, is a Chinese company that works in media and pretty much has a monopoly there.
Nice.
They own like one of the biggest video games in the world right now.
Yeah. And also Pokemon Unite, unfortunately, is owned by them or like created by them. So I will not participate in it, even though I'm a huge Pokemon fan.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just got to draw a line in the sand, and Pokemon fall on that line.
The world is looking a little dark, and I'm just hoping that Gal Gadot can come through with another song to save all of us again.
Oh my god, yeah.
If only. If only.
Please, Gal Gadot, sit in your patio and next to your infinity pool and tell me how bad the world is so that we can all heal.
Yeah, that whole thing at the beginning of the pandemic was like that and the fucking Pepsi commercial. The like
Pepsi was
the
worse.
Beginning of the pandemic?
No, that was
the
like
Pepsi.
Pepsi was during the George Floyd protests, and the Gal Gadot, Imagine, all these celebrities doing Imagine. That was like
that was like the second day.
That was when we were flattening the curve. Okay?
Yeah,
that was
Like, well, because I think in their heads they'll be like, it's only 2 weeks, right? Get them through that. Except nobody did the fucking work, and so.
Although, would it have been any different than like one of those televised specials where people gather together, the celebrities gather together and sing? Because like that's essentially what it was, but pandemic version.
Yeah, we are
and
the
worse.
world.
Yeah, and worse. And
they were doing it sort of a cappella.
Yeah,
which is automatically bad.
Yeah. Listen, some people don't have transferable skills. Maybe they're just an actor. That's okay. Right? But, listen, I can be an ogre. Doesn't mean I'm going to be a model.
And of course, they also sang the most punchable song from the most punchable Beatle. Like,
oh, and he was a horrible person, right? Like,
well, I mean,
and his legacy hasn't grown better. It's horrible.
Paul and George and Ringo all turned out okay. It's just John.
Well, he died, so of course it didn't turn out okay for him.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that like John could have been like martyred, but he kind of wasn't. It was just like,
I just mean like getting shot really young is not a great way to turn out.
No, of course not. I more mean like he was just a punchable douche. He was the.
Well, we find out now that he was, he's like, oh, we're going to sit in for peace. Also, I beat my wives. You're like, hey, those two things, not okay.
Or not even that. I'm going to sit in for peace from bed.
Yeah, which is also you're kind of a dick, right? He's like, in this giant king-size bed and have food delivered to me because I have wealth. And you're like...
Well, I mean, that's the same thing of, like, Gal Gadot being, this pro-Israeli I mean, I know she is an Israeli citizen, so she's heard all the propaganda, but like
Yeah.
she's still pro-Israeli, even as like they're literally committing ethnic cleansing in Gaza, the West Bank, Jerusalem, East
Yeah.
Jerusalem, and like they still kill, like the IDF kills babies at protests. So like sorry, I have a huge problem with Gal Gadot as like an atheist Jew.
As long as you're okay with the baby
Yeah.
murdering, we're okay. That's fine. Sorry.
Okay, that might be the episode title.
Well,
No,
you guys, man. That's a little bit aggressive. I don't.
Okay, out of curiosity, let's say an apocalypse happens.
Yeah.
I know it like different apocalyptic scenarios leads to different reactions and stuff, but let's say, I don't know, the pandemic went a lot worse than we assumed it was going to go, and like a large chunk of the earth, like Contagion. You guys remember that movie Contagion?
Don't
Yeah.
so
So
imagine
imagine-
with a good time, brother. Come on.
Imagine that happens. Like cities are cleared out. A lot of people are dead. You take to the road as the Wanderer. What do you do? What's
My
your
time to
plan?
shine.
Let's go, Dino. What do you got for me?
Oh, carnage. It's going to be, come on. Listen, I was born to be a warlord. I have trained my entire life. It's perfect. No. This is the thing is what people forget is that there's a significant amount of knowledge that has been isolated. Sorry, I kind of cut everybody off. Did you guys want to go first? Because I have a long-winded answer that's going to just, okay.
Go right
it's-
on.
there's a lot of different knowledge that has been cut off specifically for people in different industries, right? Like I used to be a financial planner. I know about money. I know about currency. I know about how businesses run, how they work, what they need, how they function, all those kind of things, because I'm inquisitive, right?
Yeah.
But like my father had a machine shop. I am a horrible machinist. Horrible. Just great delivery guy, great at communications, great at inspiring people, getting them to do things, maybe a little ha-ha every once in a while. That's my skill set. That's what I can do really good, right?
Maybe a little haha every once in a while.
Well, listen, you can't take from everyone. You got to give back a little bit, Atlas, okay?
Might be the episode. I'm just gonna keep doing that for like different shit.
Welcome to Generation Dan, where you get to watch us figure out what the episode is going to be called.
Listen, I'm still all in for a gender ago and 2 less boobs. So like,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, well we got the
That's
blessing.
still, I like it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's good.
Yeah.
No, listen, it's about drawing people in the right way.
Oh, totally.
The last episode was about sometimes people need a stab, and you're like, hey,
Yeah.
that is a factual
That was the last
thing.
one aired, not the
I
last
mean, if
one that
this is
aired
about the
here.
apocalypse, sometimes people in need of stabbing.
Yeah.
Right?
Literally. Okay, so you're gonna be a warlord.
Well, it's not that I'm going to be a warlord, but I am going to make sure that I have a domain of control, right? Like
Okay.
that is the key thing. An area of influence is the key to survival, because the fact is anyone will die if they try and do it themselves. Using fear and like that only goes so far. You need a community, because people will follow you if they believe in something. If they
Yeah.
just want to survive, they will trade your ass in at the first opportunity of them being ahead. That simple, right? That's where people have forgotten how important communication is, understanding is, supporting each other, and those kind of things. At the same time, I'm definitely going to be killing people. Just so you know, like, there's going to be perks about it, right? Like, I'm not going to advertise, but
Perks.
you'll know. There's,
I'm going
I
to be
agree.
killing people, so there's benefits.
well, listen, either you're part of the community or you're not part of the community. Sorry, brother. Someone's going to die. It's
Someone's got to do chores in the house.
Well,
so.
listen, and you know what? Everyone should have their time doing chores. That's fair. That's reasonable. And you know what? If you're not a great gardener, I'm not going to put you in the garden. I'm going to put the great gardener in the garden. You know why? Because that's okay. It's, appreciating people's skill set is good. It's when somebody who's like, well, I want to be the gardener. You've killed everything you touch, guy. Listen, maybe you're just going to peel potatoes for now. And maybe
Yeah.
later you become a chef. Okay?
This is the
And that person
apocalypse.
becomes a guard because they kill everything.
That's true.
Ta-da! Yeah.
It's like, listen, I know you really wanted to be a gardener, but due to your inherent nature to kill everything, we have a spot on the police force open for you.
Damn.
It's just like,
that's
how many
a-
accidents did they accidentally kill people in your like community? It's just like, oh my god, how did this guardrail just suddenly find this person's face?
Over and over and over. It's like he tried to do a trick on it. I don't know. Yeah.
You know, he was doing wheelies on my old skateboard. Oops.
Yeah.
With his face just over and over.
So it's literally Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, but like
Well,
Yeah.
listen, it was a great game for a reason.
now Tony Hawk's Underground 2, that was the GOAT for me of all those games.
I don't know. Whichever one had Spider-Man in for me was fine. Like that's where I was happy.
I think that goes for most games. If it had Spider-Man, it was probably okay. That's, right? Like
Spider-Man 2, really good video game movie.
that was one of
Yeah.
the first ones that they did like an open world too, right?
Yeah.
It was that
Yeah.
one. Where, it was pretty wild.
They actually
Yeah,
got the
but
web
the-
slinging right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the 2018 one is so much better.
Well,
Oh yeah,
if you haven't
that one's
played.
great.
Yeah.
No, that one's great too.
And they were like, we need to have this web slinging from like the first game, the
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 one. They were like, we
Yeah.
need that kind of web slinging in this game, and
Yeah.
they showed it to the guy who created the Spider-Man 2 game. He was
Yeah.
like, "This is amazing. This is
Yeah.
perfect."
Okay.
That's all it
Because
is.
Yeah.
in the first one, for like Spider-Man 1, it was just it would go up to like
The sky,
yeah. And
Yeah.
then in 2, you had to be near a building, and then otherwise you just fall.
yeah. Which is like, for an apocalypse, it makes sense that it would work like that because like otherwise it would work by the laws of physics, and
Yeah.
that doesn't happen. It works by the laws of physics outside of an apocalypse.
Okay, so wait,
Sorry,
Dino,
Spider-Man will be held accountable to the laws of physics, okay? He
Jade-
is a Spider-Man, not some crazy guy who can do whatever he wants. think
I will not
that's-
stand for Spider-Man shitting in the mouth of Isaac Newton.
Do you think he has to go when he's swinging? Like,
Probably just
I'm
looks
sure
like
he
a bird.
does, right? Like midway through, he just kind of like tucks his trousers. Below.
Oh,
Oh no,
in the
because it's a
vicinity of a
singlet,
Del
right?
Taco, and he makes eye contact. This is your fault.
Well, especially because in the modern ones, they have like eye movements that like correspond with his.
Oh,
So that's even worse. So you can like
Squinting.
you can tell it's eye contact,
My
as
only
opposed to
gripe,
just the.
my only gripe with Spider-Man is that he's not anatomically accurate. If he was an actual Spider-Man, the web would come out of his ass. Okay,
Yeah.
that's my only gripe with Spider-Man. Why
I would-
does the web
well,
not
there
come
would
out of
be
his ass?
there would be a area in and around his buttocks, but I don't think it comes out from his pooper.
It comes out wherever you want it to, and for me, it's the butthole. Dino, okay?
Does it come out of the butthole on spiders, or is it
Sure.
from that
No,
area?
No, there's like a
Also,
web
the
gland, isn't there?
male spiders also lose their dicks when they have sex with female spiders.
Of course.
No
they do.
joke.
God damn it.
So like the
Same
first
with
time,
octopus; they rip it off and throw it at a woman. Hear what you're going? Listen,
I'd
that's
like
aggressive.
to be in your pussy in an octopus.
When you got time,
time.
feel free to use this later. You know,
just like detachable dick. It's like a strap-on dildo.
it's not. No, they just rip it off and throw it. Which you're like, there's a lot of damage you're incurring for the chance that someone might use this later.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and it's needed in an apocalypse.
It's tough times. Tough times, right? Everyone deserves
got-
love. That's fine.
Yeah. It's like like with the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you can always use a towel. You can always use the detachable Spider-Man deck.
Okay, so Dino becomes a warlord, sets up a sphere of influence, and just stays somewhere, right?
Yes.
That's
And I tell Russia to bring it on. Come on.
okay. I mean, they'd probably be dead, except for the the
I'm sure there are
civilian
still
population, probably.
There are Russians in Toronto right now that are terrified. I'm sure. It's great.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Yeah. That's just how it is. What about you guys?
So-
Tell you what I'm doing in the apocalypse. I'm going Strasvucia, bitches. What's up? I'm on your
What?
team now, boys. How we doing? I got a bottle of Smirnoff, boys. Are we kicking it or what, dude?
Well, I would just party until you die. That's the
Basically.
okay.
I mean, listen, if I could party hard enough with the Russian soldiers, I feel like I could assimilate well, you know?
I
Because
mean,
that's my goal. It's assimilation with the winning side, dude. I don't give a fuck who it is, bro.
so you're like
You're the
guy-
problem.
You're the guy on Survivor who like waits till the last like made it alliance at the beginning, waited till all the way near the end,
Yep.
and then jumps in at the end. And
Yeah, I'm literally like the last guy could be sitting there like bleeding out. Everyone's already done all the fighting. I'll come in, I'll do the killing blow, and I'll take credit for everything.
Yeah,
That's my
you're the
MO.
guy who puts his name on the Drip Project without having done it.
Caleb is the new Adam of the world. He's the last man, and
Oh
he
my
will be
God.
victorious. It's great.
You're the person in the podcast who doesn't say anything until the end. It's like, yeah, that's what you would
Yeah.
do.
So, like, anyway, yeah, just shout out to me because this is my show and I'm on it, and I'm going to tell everybody about how great I am on this
You
show
see-
because I am the show.
I was
Seems
commenting on myself regarding this whole thing, like this entire listening to what you would do and be like, yeah, and I'm gonna be that person who only comes in at the end and goes, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what you would do.
yeah.
That was kind of meta. Holy shit! But, yeah.
That is fantastic.
I try.
I feel like there would be a lot of that happening, though. Let's be honest. Is people just showing up going, hey, I'm here to save everyone. Great. You guys are saved? All right. I'm going to move on.
I feel like
You're
that's how every new character in every zombie apocalypse, like movie, show,
yeah.
comic book,
Mhm.
is. They're like the last person to come in on the group project, just like Atlas was saying, and just put their name on it. And
Yep.
it's just like, yeah.
That's me, baby.
I don't know. I think I would either, if it's something like a nuclear apocalypse or like a zombie apocalypse where it's like all the disaster comes at once, as opposed to like a collapse. Over
Pretty sure
time.
that's just the 2020s so
Yeah,
far. It's
pretty
all
much.
the problems right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's why this episode is happening. But if it's like a nuclear or a zombie apocalypse, I would probably just find the nearest deadly object and kill myself because I don't think I could handle that kind of thing. If it's like a collapse, I would find a way to survive, or like, I don't know. I have strong legs and I'm good at lifting with my legs instead of my back. And
I have a question.
yeah,
When you say if it's nuclear, are you saying like you're one nuke versus all the nukes? Same principle? I'm just gonna fucking blow my own brains out. Like, or is it like, hey, if everything's going down, there's been nuclear bombs going off somewhere else. So far, nothing here. You know what, guys? Just see what happens. Or
No.
like, would you get ahead of the curve and be like, well, this ain't gonna go well? Just, like what? You know?
no, it'd probably be if it would be like if a guy in Hiroshima saw the bomb dropping, I'd just be like, fuck it, and just go in and get vaporized.
Make
immediately.
friends with Wolverine, sir. That's what you do.
I mean,
I'm just running through the wasteland. Have you seen Hugh Jackman? I have to find.
I
Hugh
need a
Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
sorry, sir. Did you say you need a huge Jack man? A huge
Yeah.
Jack man?
Interesting that you would ask. Yeah.
Then some
but
dude
yeah,
in fucking
so-
like 50%
So either
biker
off
outfit.
myself, or I think just kind of wander where I can, and just be that guy who like never like Boat of Eli, basically, like just go where you can.
You would also
That was
be
a great
blind.
movie.
Not blind, just. Although, you know what? Knowing my luck, I probably would, because my eyes are perfect. But the second that all the doctors are gone, I bet it's just going to be like, "Hey, you got wet macular degeneration. Good luck, guy." You're like, "Fuck."
Awesome.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
No. Well, also another thing that I have to worry about is I'm epileptic and I take medication for it. What happens when the medication's gone? I'm just going to be having seizures all the damn time. So it's going to be like a Memento where he just wakes up. Where the fuck am I? Like,
You have to wear a helmet.
yeah, probably I would.
So I have this very similar problem, but for a very different reason. Like you have your epileptic seizure pills that you need. I
Yeah.
have my hormone replacement therapy that I need.
Mm.
So I would have to like go to the pharmacy that I go to, and instead of being like, "Hey, can I just buy at least 3 months worth?" and then tell me what they do to like create the pills for estradiol, spironolactone, and progesterone, I would go into the back and take everything like a terrible human being who's afraid of never being able to have it in the future.
Yeah.
And
Seems
then,
accurate.
yeah. And then I would go and Google how to make them. So what plants make these, and then I would try and get all of the products that would do that in like a chemistry science lab at a high school. I would take that, and then I would take the plants, any that are like useful in the area, and then I would take that into my apartment, and I would become an HRT for trans women drug lord.
Oh.
Breaking Bad, totally. Yeah, love it. It's like
Yeah.
Breaking Bad, but for good.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Breaking Good, yeah.
Yeah,
Great-
well, I
yeah,
don't know
well-
if it's exactly good because I'm taking all of the ones that I would be using for myself and then making and distributing others for other people later.
Yeah,
I don't
you
know if
get
I
the
get
good
all
stuff.
of them.
You get your good supply for yourself, and you give other people the crap supply. Yeah, if anything, you're learning from their usage. It's fine. Yeah,
It would be the
It's an
not every
apocalypse, it's not-
well, not every trans woman like takes HRT, but like there is no like bad supply. There's just the one supply. It's like you take you take estradiol and spironolactone, and then you take progesterone if you want to. It's not something that every trans woman does if they're taking HRT, but for me, I wanted to because I wanted like that sort of like hourglass sort of look. But unfortunately, my fat decided that it was more important to give me a dad bod for a trans woman. So you take what you get in those instances.
I wish fat could work like it does in SpongeBob, where you can kind of shove it and then it shows up by your feet. Like,
I feel personally attacked.
Yeah.
yeah, no, because
Well, I can't really work with that in a dress or your skirt. So like, I understand exactly what you're saying because you could hide it in your pants.
yeah, or just like being able to move it where you need it, right? Where you can be like, okay, put this over here. Put a little in my boobs, a little.
Oh, I would put all of it
like
in my boobs if I could.
Yeah, like
I'd
you
have,
could
like,
shuffle
double
it around,
G's.
right?
I would have double G's if I could, just
Let's
to get that
go.
in my chest, or
My
I should say
bunda.
my abdomen. I would just boom, double G's. I would never
With
be able
double
to tell where I'm
G's, you have a
walking.
place in my community. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, thank you.
That's just how that works. Okay, I don't make
What
the
is-
rules. It's
We need cutting boards. So
What in the Macy's Day Parade float community?
Yeah.
He's
Well, I
huge,
mean, in an
man.
apocalypse, I don't know if it's as useful to be in the Macy's Day Parade, but I will look into it.
No. I'm saying that Dino looks like a Macy's Day Parade float.
Hey, everybody wants it, and you know what? It's the place to be on that time. So,
Are you saying you want
anything,
some of the
it's
fat in my
compliment.
double G boobs? Do you know? Like,
Me
is
or-
that?
Oh, him, yeah.
no, I just like boobs. So
Oh, okay.
that just gets you in there,
That's
realistically.
fair. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with boobs.
Yeah, I mean-
I'm a vanilla pervert. It's okay. It's, fine.
It's okay. I'm basically almost at a C at like near B level, which is basically like for trans women. They say oftentimes like you probably won't get higher than like a B. So I honestly feel like I have accomplished a major good for me. Like
Absolutely.
that was about where I wanted, so I feel perfect.
Yeah, okay,
That's the
so
whole idea, right?
I have a friend who is a trans man. You're a trans woman, and he was saying the other day that he felt so liberated that you could walk around with a towel not above his chest, that you could just walk around shirtless. Is there anything like that as a trans woman that you're like, oh my god, I could do this now? Like when you transitioned?
I mean, the hack and terrible answer would be to say to go into the locker rooms, but like I said, that would be a hack and terrible answer.
This is really a terrible answer.
It is. It
It's
is.
funny.
It
though.
is a
it's
terrible
like-
answer.
It is. But like,
Somewhere
I don't
Tucker
even go to
Carlson
the
was
gym.
like-
I don't even go to the gym that much to like even justify saying that. Like, I should go to the gym more, but I don't.
We all should.
Yeah. I think for me, like the thing that makes me happy being like a trans woman, or the thing that gives me the most joy, is that I honestly hated like the guy talk. I like the dude bro sort of talk and the like punching and the shit like that. Like I always
the
hated
toxic
it.
masculinity, right?
Yeah.
Like you're no longer beholden to it.
Yes,
as much.
and that I don't have to even feign the toxic masculinity around people that are like expect me to behave that way, and if I don't, I'm a pussy or whatever. It's like no,
Yeah.
I'm a pussy, and I wish I had one, but I do have a cat, so that's That is, you know,
Blah,
I do have
blah,
one,
yeah.
just not on me. I mean,
Semantics
my cat
matter.
is in my bedroom.
I
My
got
cat
one,
is in my
just not
bedroom, but it is not on me. And also, I don't have one on me. But I am looking forward to the day I do have one. And
That's fair.
but yeah, no, I'm just not a fan of toxic masculinity. Never was, and I grew up in a very conservative area, and so it was basically programmed into so many people, and I just always hated it.
Yeah, but it's weird, right? Like I have a like the more and more I'm learning about being human and everything, right? Because let's be honest, people are the
because
worst.
he's
right?
partially human. He's a genetic marvel.
No,
Wait, are you saying like human? Like you have to be human to have some toxic masculinity?
No,
like, is that what
no.
it is?
What I'm saying is it's not even toxic masculinity. I think it's just toxic behavior, and that's how it's manifested through men, and then women have a different. Like it's toxicity that I'm finding. It's not like it's the way it plays through, like from a bunch of dudes, fine. Bunch of women, same. Like there's that toxicity that I'm seeing across the board, and it's like finding out where it comes from. You're going, hey, there's some really trash people in history that had a lot of influence that really should not have had any word in anything.
Yeah.
And it's weird, right? Because like you realize how garbage some people that the majority of people are like, that's the greatest person in history. You're like, that guy's horrible, and that's when you're like, so it's like the example of people roughhousing and stuff. So I'm the youngest of 5 kids. I had 3 brothers and 1 sister. So 3 brothers, that's 4 boys. That's 2 tag teams. We just kick the shit out of each other constantly, right?
Yeah.
But there was a time and a place for it. And, like we were at parties, we weren't punching each other. Why? Because that's not how civilized people act. You don't go around punching people going, you're a pussy. No, that's stupid, right? And also, too, I look like this. I'm like, I kind of win every time when I go, hey, I'm going to crush you. And
Did you look like that as a kid, too? Or
I think he had the beard as a
puberty?
kid.
Yeah.
Like, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
I was born with this. Beard first. It was like, I came out like an ICBM, just pow, right?
I've seen.
I shot out of there, right?
I've seen pictures of you as a kid.
Beard first.
Yeah, he had the beard even when he didn't have the beard. Does that make any sense? Yeah.
I started. See, most human. The reason I'm a genetic marvel is because humans in the womb are developed from the butthole first. Mine was the beard, and then turned into everything else. So, anyways,
Butthole was second, though.
well, you know what? It was a big beard, so
Yeah.
Well, his
I
butthole
needed
also
support.
has a beard, coincidentally. So.
Well, listen, I'm a man of culture, and I'm Greek. Luckily, that one isn't gray yet, but time will
He's cutting
come.
in and out for me. So to me, it just sounds like he's going ah.
Also factual. I can't really,
I mean, that's generally how babies sound when they come out.
Yeah.
especially if they had 2 assholes. Are you kidding me? Like that's a lot of. It's a
And
lot of
some
product
babies
being
come
moved.
out with no assholes. This is
Put 'em
Put 'em
this
back.
is
They're
real.
not done.
Some
Back in the
babies
oven.
don't come out with assholes.
There's this this person I follow on Twitter who like you know how there are those parents that just tweet about how awful their kids are all the time.
I think those are just parents. No.
Those are just parents, yeah. No, but this one, like, I can't remember the Twitter handle, but it's like a person. It's like Homer Simpson doing this. That's their picture, and the whole thing is like they have a little kid who should have been potty trained by now, but is like defying it as hard as they can, like running away from their daycare worker and just like staring at them while peeing themselves, like just. I forgot who you are, but you've given me many hours of entertainment on Twitter just following that line. It's great.
Isn't that a sign of abuse though when kids are like that?
I don't know. Well,
I think so. Like there's a lot of weird stuff like that where it's like if they like run away and like, purposefully do some like stuff against the norm, it's Sorry.
I'm not sure.
Sorry
I hope
about
it's
that.
not.
That's kind of just ruined that right there. Where I was like,
Yeah.
Sorry about
Yeah.
that. My bad.
Anyway, just like that's funny to me that like Dino seems like he would do that like as a small child, just like beard.
I think it'd be funny. I would, you know what? I would literally find a way to like, I would hire like a makeup artist to like duplicate this beard and then just go put it on little children. Just be like, here, just walk into a daycare wearing that. Like that would be the greatest bit. Like walking, like if I had kids, I would get that beard and put it on my kid and be like, yeah, it's a family thing.
So like like a beard wig. You would just give beard wigs
like
to
a face
children.
merkin. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's like a tiny kick me sign. It's
God, they're my kids. No one's kicking my kids. Let's be honest.
No, not that. I just imagine you literally just going into a random daycare center. What is that guy doing here? Fucking nothing. And then
You know what?
off,
So there's been a few times where I've gotten those looks from people where I'm like, I swear to God, I'm supposed to be here. This is not what you think. Like there was a Dr. Zeus show, like a amusement center, I guess, like where there was a display and all this cool stuff. Yeah. And like it was traveling through Canada. I think it went into New York before the pandemic. And I walked in there and I was like, oh yeah, this will be cool because my wife likes it. Her cousin was with us, her cousin or her friend. And then I realized it is all kids and I look like this. And as soon as we walked in, I grabbed my wife's hand. I'm like, you're not allowed to leave my side. Okay. I cannot be left here like if I'm just randomly standing here, this is going to get really uncomfortable really quick. And I don't deal well with people touching me. Like if someone's like, excuse me, sir, I'm like, that hand's going to get broken if it doesn't get removed. Okay. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I'll leave. No problem. But don't touch me because I'll touch you back. Right. So yeah, that's why it's so I don't.
Your Honor, Dino was on record, in fact, saying, if you touch me, I will touch you back. And my client has some damage as a result of the interaction.
Speaking as the counsel's defense, he did say that he would break their arm. So it was in a very violent way, but not sexual. Unless, of course,
no judgment. No judgment. Yeah, no judgment. But that wasn't the intent. I think the intent was pretty clear.
Oh my God. Well, Alia, thank you so much for coming on Generation Dan.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So we have one more question for you, but first, do you want to plug yourself for the social medias?
So you can find me on Instagram at meth_Alia, which is the same but without the umlauts, which is the 2 dots above the A there. And I mostly post I'm vegan, so I mostly post food either I've gotten at vegan street vendors or vegan restaurants, or I post stuff that I cook at home. And apparently people like it. They think that my food looks really good if I cook it or the ones I find outside. And then I have a something, not Twitter, something, because I don't want them to ever find out I have it. And it's basically the anglicized spelling of my name and then meth. I'm doing it so it's hard for Twitter to find me, basically.
Yeah. Okay. So I won't put it in the description then.
Yeah. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So that if any Twitter
just go to Instagram,
admin,
follow her on Instagram instead.
Yeah, but I don't really have anything to plug for myself, so I do want to plug. If you want to find out more about what's going on in Ukraine, there is a Ukrainian person that I follow. Their Twitter account is @harassme, which I know.
That's a great name. Great name.
I could be pronouncing it incorrectly as well, but it's spelled at capital HORESMI. I tend to watch, and I know, unfortunately, some people will be like, "Oh, this woman is terrible because she watches this person." But I do watch Vosh's coverage of it because he's been the most correct on this so far from the online left. So watch his. I tend to like oh my God, Robert Evans.
I love him.
Yeah, he's amazing.
It Can Happen Here, Behind the Bastards.
Yes, I was going to mention those if we got to that point and we had time.
I've been trying to get on Behind the Bastards for the longest time.
One day.
Yeah, one day, because he keeps going, I'll do an Otto von Bismarck episode one day. I was like, please let me be the guest for that.
Well,
One
I'm
day,
crossing my
yeah.
Well, hold on. I'm crossing my fingers for you too, buddy. But yeah. So I'd recommend those three. And then of course, Dylan Burns is a fantastic, like foreign expert, foreign policy expert. He's on Twitch. And then I think, yeah, I would say those four individuals definitely follow. And you will definitely be up to date on what's going on in Ukraine.
Okay, sounds good. You can find us at Generation Dan on Twitter. You can follow me at Atlas Novak on Twitter, Instagram, or check out my other show at Nexus at Nights in those same places. That's about a trading card game. Cool. What about you guys?
I'm Dino the Genetic Marvel. You can find most of my stuff on my. I've been doing more on my YouTube channel, so Dino the Genetic Marvel on YouTube, as well Dino the Genetic Marvel on Facebook and Instagram. I think I have a TikTok, and Twitter is Dino the Genetic 1, and it's like the number 1 at the end because I didn't have enough characters to put Marvel, which I'm like, that's kind of. I'll make it with that.
Yeah, or you could have dropped the, and then it'd sound Russian. Dino Genetic Marvel.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And then it just sounds like I'm a douche, right? Like, I don't, that's not appropriate. Yeah, right? So,
just a little bit.
But also, too, on our, the YouTube channel for Generation Dan podcast is, actually, we've been loading up the stories on it. And I was saying earlier was one of them just cracked 500 views.
Wow.
The one that got led up today. So,
Nice.
And that's,
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
That's really wonderful, guys.
Yeah.
We're doing things and stuff.
Yeah, tell a friend, leave a like, leave a comment, all that good stuff. But now, the final question for Ms. Meth.
What about Caleb?
It's okay. Nobody cares about me. I'm just the quiet boy in the corner
I
that'll swoop
wanna
in
give
at
you
the
a
end and take
hug.
glory. That's what
I want to give you a hug, Caleb. I'm sorry.
I'm old. I'm sorry.
I want to give you a hug.
Well-
I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good. My name is Caleb McDuff. It is at Caleb C. McDuff on Twitter. Updates about my future projects will be posted there, but most of the time I'm just down bad on Maine. So if you want some relatable content, shoot me a fucking thing over there, and we'll talk about how sad we are.
Mhm. And then I gotta sing your song that you're writing.
And then Alien Meth is going to be featuring on the EP, so look out for that because it's going to be gas.
It's just gonna be so sad. You're gonna want to
It's going to be
commit
literally
seppuku
so sad.
and hang yourself at the same time.
I'm going to make
That's
eye
how sad
contact
it'll
with
be.
every Del Taco employee I see and shit myself because of how sad this song is.
I deserve that.
Like part of a tour? Is that like you're gonna track them out and then like
That's the marketing thing, but like you have to worry about it right now. No spoilers.
I can't wait.
All right. Well, Elia, being a comedian like the rest of us, what is the most memorable set you've had as a comedian, good, bad, or otherwise?
Okay, so I wanted to do this, but it is the most memorable for me because it's something I've been working on, and I don't know when I'm gonna go up next because I mostly do open mics right now. So but I was going to get my documents changed, and two of my friends were helping me do this. And when I was going there, I was like, "Hey, do you want to hear this set I've been working on?" And at first they were supportive. They were like, "Yeah, sure." So, and one of the things that I find terrifying is cannibals. Absolutely terrifying. But you say it enough, cannibal, 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 cannibal. It sounds funny, right?
Yeah.
It takes the bite away from them,
Heyo.
Yeah. But so like it was literally a cannibal joke, and I had heard about this guy. He was a biker. He made a pact with his friends. He was like, if any of us ever get the opportunity to try human meat, we're all going to do this together. And the joke was about this actual situation where this guy in this pact gets into a motorcycle accident and finds out, he finds out, he finds out that like he can't walk on this leg anymore comfortably. And so he's like, okay, can you, all right, just amputate it. And do you have a doggy bag for me? Like that's basically his reaction to finding out. He's like, just like put it in some Tupperware and ice, and I'm gonna take it home, And then like, he goes home and he's gonna make it, and he's gonna like make it for his friends. And how do you serve a former foot to your friends as taco meat? Obviously, the most logical conclusion to go with.
Is it his foot or like his leg with all the muscle?
No, it's his foot.
It's his foot.
It's his foot.
Okay.
It's not his entire leg.
There's not a lot of like muscle in. That's not a lot of.
I don't think that's the problem here.
Shut up.
Well, yeah, like that's exactly how I feel. But she was like, no, I'm good. Like after I explained that it was a cannibal joke.
Yeah.
So I was just so sad because I really wanted her opinion, and I wasn't about to go to my other friend who was with me, her boyfriend, who was doing stand up. And is kind of no longer, because it's just kind of like I feel like a dick because they were both there to help me. So like asking them to help me further would be kind of a dick move. By the way, here's my cat Uno, and
Hi,
yes,
Uno.
his name is Uno Meth. Say hello, buddy.
Kitty.
Yeah. Nice way to end your podcast for the people who watch it.
There's a cat.
Yeah, but like. They were already helping me by like helping me get my documents changed for my legal name change and gender change. So like, I'm not going to be like, yo, you need to listen to this. You need to listen to this joke about cannibalism inside this AAA. You need to hear this.
This is a deep cut studio track. You gotta hear, man.
This is going to be on a 1 hour disc and, stand-up show that's going on Netflix. That's about cannibalism and how I can make it less terrifying for everyone else.
Hannibal Lecter live. That's the name of the album.
Yeah, it's Alien Meth. It's also some cannibals.
My God. All right. Well, that's the show, everyone. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for bringing me on, and have a good day.